Hello, everybody. We're back and we're on. We're going to start with a kind of rotation of drivers. And we'll start with Alex Zanchetin, who we've not spoken to yet. So, Alex, a simple question, really. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. It's been hard yesterday, but today we improved the setup, so I think we're good for today for the sprint race and also for tomorrow for the endurance. We see because everyone is fast, especially the top 4 or 5 drivers are really fast, so here it's impossible to overtake, so we see how it will go.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen quite a lot of people kind of overtake by climbing over the top of each other, haven't we? There's been a lot of kind of coming together, certainly that hairpin over there.
Yeah, I think the part where we can overtake is the dirt part because it's a little bumpy, the jumps are not perfect, so everyone can make a little mistake, so you can overtake him, but it's hard because we are all fast, so we see.
Great, thanks Alex. Next up is going to be Tom, if you come over. So Tom Roban. Tom, yeah, a good start, but then the race went like that.
Yeah, my start was clean. I'm first, and after a mistake with behind me with Hampusberg, and Davide takes the lead. It's good for Davide, not for the team, but it's race.
There seemed to be a lot of incidents further down. A lot of people crashing into each other. Lots of crashes between the drivers.
Yeah, lot of crash, and why my clean start was super good, but I think it's race.
David, not quite. Oh, I understand you were a little bit unhappy with Tom earlier.
Yeah, that's probably why he walked away now. But I'll try to be a bit more aggressive. It looks like I'm being a little bit patient, and the others are moving my car over, flipping it over and stuff. So it's starting to get frustrating. So we'll be a little bit more aggressive this time and see if I'm the one who can have some more luck.
So not wishing to stir trouble. What exactly did he do then?
He came down the back there on the opposite way. I think he had a crash or something, and they probably the car got turned around, and he just came back the opposite way. So we front to front. He hit me. My car bounced over the pipe, and then Elliot got by us, and I got back on the track right when Elliot exited the back 180 there, and we hit. And I think Elliot's shock broke. He said my shock broke. I had to retire. So that was not some good points there.
But you get the front row at the start, don't you?
Yeah, but the last pick, so I'm all the way on the inside. Let's see how that works. I'm going to try to play a bit more aggressive this time.
I can't wait to see that. Excellent news. Hampus, we'll just grab the Mallorca team. We're trying to just talk to everybody, obviously, and this should be... Hampus, you've looked pretty good, but it's very, very difficult out there to get 5 minutes clean with no one hitting you.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to pass cars and very, very high grip. And I've never had this experience before, so I struggled a bit with the setup. But now it's starting to feeling good after some change last night.
Yeah, you got a good start in that last one, but it kind of all went wrong when you and Tom came together.
Yeah, he had a bit more slower pace than me, than the other guys behind starting to catch up. Then it was very tight, and it just became chaos.
Well, let's hope we get less chaos, or perhaps more chaos, I don't know. Thanks, Hampus. So they're talking about the chaos, and certainly at the back of the grid there was all sorts of action. But why don't you all have a look at the highlights of qualifying race 2? Excited by this myself now. What's going to happen? Go! Whoa! Hey! That's the shot.
Ooh,
and into the lead goes Tom Roban. Roban from Boda. It's France from... Oh, Boda's spun out and gone from second to last.
Looks like Hampus was struggling a lot with the grip. Similar to as he struggled in South Carolina.
Interestingly, not really seeing any big movements forward from Ongaro or Evening. So you've got 2 pairs. You've got a pair in the first and second, Roban and Berg. Then Rose and Zanchetti fighting for third and fourth. Ongaro trying to get on terms with Zanchetti, and then Evening... And then the Canas and Martin. Obviously, it's always easier to lead than to follow. He nibbled him. Did you get him? I don't think he did. I think he backed out. But all that was done is given... Well, actually, saying what I was saying before, in the last lap, Ongaro has managed to deal with both of the JQSM cars, both Zanchetin and... Even and then hit again. And this is playing into Ongaro's hands entirely as... The 2 yellow wheel cars, those of Tom Rabat and Hampersberg come together through the infield. They did it again, and look at that, straight through into the lead goes David Ongaro. But the net effect is that we've ended up with Ongaro in the lead, obviously.
The two Italians, Zancatini right behind. Oh, just as I say that.
So coming over the line, actually, it's second, third, and fourth. So we've got it is Even and Zanchetin and Canas. So Even has a second. Oh dear. Canas and Zanchetin have a dance as well. So third now goes to Martin. Ronefalk's dropped out as well. We lost Ronefalk.
Yeah.
Pecco is due. He's absolutely sprinted onto the back of Ongaro. Ongaro probably driving with himself. That is the last lap. They go close to can. They go over the line there.
That's right. So we have round Q3 of RCGP. Elliott Booth starts in front. Tom Urbain second. Clement Boda third. James Lepavot fourth. Brandon Rose fifth. David Ronefalk sixth. Seventh is Davide Ongaro. Pecco in eighth. Lee Martin ninth. Juan Carlos Canas. I've been told maybe his nickname might be La Crema or Cream. And Hampersberg in 11th. And Alex Zancatini in 12th. I've nicknamed him.
Oh, have you?
Yes. But
was he pleased about that?
I haven't told him yet.
Well, that doesn't really count.
I usually don't tell them.
That's fair enough. What I'll talk about nicknames. We'll talk about this in a minute. What I am pleased to say is that we have managed as RC Racing TV to get a racing driver and an RC driver a nickname that he doesn't deserve and only ever got from us being bored.
Really?
Alex Hagberg, the Doctor. We named him that back.
He does look like a doctor.
We named him that back in about 12 years ago or 11 years ago when we first started calling the Doctor. And we used to look at his shoes a lot because he had very sensible shoes. But it's great that you picked it up without even knowing it was the nickname we'd given him. So we're very chuffed about that. So into this race. Now, when Letty was reading out the grid order, obviously it isn't actually a grid. That's just the order in which you choose your slot.
Oh, okay. Right.
And as everybody has decided the front row is better than the back row, which isn't always the case actually, but they are choosing 1 to 6 on the front and then 7 to 12 on the back. So Mr. Ongaro will have first choice of the second row.
Yeah, but Pecco said he got a pretty good start off the second row in the last race. But definitely, it looks like, you have less of a jump, all that stuff. But I do like the way the gate system is. I think it's perfect. It goes into a straightaway. We haven't seen that many accidents.
No, so far it's been remarkably clean compared to the rest of the gate starts, which have normally resulted in either chaos or a massive row.
This is true. And we had some frustration. Tom Robin, and I didn't see where Tom Robin and Ronefalk had issues, so we missed that. And Hampus said Hampus was pretty blunt. I had more pace. And yeah, good stuff. I like this. We need to let these drivers show their emotions and make RC racing more exciting and colorful, just like it is in full scale.
Couldn't agree more.
Let them show their emotions.
Get those emotions on key.
And we allow them to say what they want to say. And we're not looking for violence, but definitely we want some action, because this is RC racing. These guys are at the top level. Well, most of them are, and they want to win no matter what. That's why they are professionals at racing, in my opinion. Very weird that you see David get upset too, or ruffled.
Yes.
I wouldn't say he's ruffled, but he's going to be more aggressive. So I wouldn't argue with that strategy myself. So as they continue their warm-up, they have 55 more seconds left in there. Whoa! What a save by that. Who was that? Was that David just now who made that save? Yes.
Well,
no, it was
warm-up. So. That's a very, very theatrical throat clearance then.
Boda, he caught it. There's Scott and JQ.
No, he's taking the screwdriver off JQ. They're the Hex driver.
I'm just realizing that Scott's almost as tall as JQ.
It happens, There's not. JQ isn't super tall. He's what, 6'3", isn't he?
Yeah, 6'5"-ish.
Is he?
Yeah. So all my friends seem to be taller than me. And my wife says, you look like the number 10 walking on the road. It's like, thank you. Obviously, I am the round and wide 0. The other guys are the tall, skinny one.
Just love the honesty of the spouse. It's marvellous. Okay, so we are getting ready now to start the qualifying round. We've had their little warm-up. That's Craig Drescher, 14-time European. I keep saying 14-time European champion. I really hope that's the right number. He may have won more.
Yeah, he said he was doing the iconic race last weekend with Jamie Booth.
Yeah.
And he said he thoroughly enjoyed it. Good, great guy, Craig is. Had a good chat with him earlier on.
So
He's
out
super pumped.
they come. So 6 in the front row, 6 in the back row. We'll be seeing gate starts all the way for competitive racing today. What will happen is that the big main final tomorrow, the hour-long final tomorrow, that will actually be a ordinary grid start. It's the only one you're going to see all the whole time. But we are a long way from that. We have this qualifier. We have 2 finals. We have a junior final. Oh, hang on. Been a problem early on for Ronnefax flamed, so that's not great. Going to restart, so it's not working well for Ronnefax. Will they wait for him? They don't normally. Oh, it's going. It's running. No, it's not. So, tuning issues. I think that Ronnefax, we started from the back. They're going to run him out there? Or no, they're putting him on the back of the grid. So he will be starting from the back on the back of the grid. So Ronnefax will start from last. They're up and away and sprinting down the straight. Ronnefax joins at the back. So these, actually joins ahead of Canas in a terrible start. Brandon Rose is upside down. And in the lead, I think, is Robin again from Clement Boda. So I think it's Boots in third. Yeah, so it's Robin from Boda. So both yellow-wheeled and white, but they're actually 2 different teams. It's Robin, of course, from Associated, Boda from the Beach RC. And looking up the inside there was Boots in the red machine. So the black wing is Boda. The white wing is Robin.
Passed by Boots.
Actually, no, Boda was ahead of Robin. I think it was changed. They went round anyway, so they sprint past the line. It has indeed, yes. So Robin and Boots. But Ongaro there looking for the big points. As Boots now looks to ruin the party, but it is 1, 2, and 3. Ongaro not gaining a lot. It's Zanchettin after that. And the back of the field sees Hampersberg now right at the back. So already, if he's running, he's made some time up there. Ronnefax now scored absolutely. Oh, Ronnefax lost a lap. That's why they've missed a lap off Ronnefax because he joined after the start finish. They have to put that back on again because he joined at the back of the field. So ignore that Ronnefax position. That's actually erroneous at the moment. He is running in about 6th. But the front 3 are getting clear. Oh, look at that up the inside there by Boots. That was a remarkable bit of kind of this. Almost he just made the most of a tiny indecision by Robin. And away he goes. And it looks like, Boda gets up the inside. So Boda moves into 2nd. Ongaro into 3. Robin's had 2 really bad corners. And he's had another bad corner. He's been nudged out by Zanchettin, who he then nibbles back at. And that's afters. Lot of afters there from Zanchettin and Robin. That was going on for a long time. But now we have 2nd and 3rd, which is the yellow wheels of Clement Boda from France and the white wheels of Davide Ongaro from Italy. But out in front by 1.3 seconds, Elliot Boots. And then it's Martin Canas, Evelyn and Robert. Canas has done well. Canas made an awful start. And he's managed to pull himself through the 5th. It's always that hanging back and see what happens situation. Clement Boda, young French driver with the S-Work chassis running for Beach RC Hobbies. They've actually put the lap back on Ronnefax now, so that's good. So he's scored where he should be, which is 7th.
Yeah, Clement Boda has Ongaro right behind him. That's got to make him nervous.
It's a little bit of pressure, isn't it, really? A lot of these guys, some of these guys are, not regular international A finalists. They wouldn't have found themselves up against some of these racers. I'm pretty sure that Clement Boda hasn't raced against Ongaro a lot, because Clement is more of a specialist in 10th, but actually it was Ongaro who made the small mistake a second ago and dropped further back off them. There's your leader just in the front of picture. Back 1 to the 3rd and 4th battle, which is going to be Ongaro and it's Canas, isn't it, again? No, it's Martin. It's Martin, sorry, it's Martin, then Canas. So Lee Martin really enjoying this track and the new car, the new lay-down shot machine. So looking at that.
That's Canas.
That is Canas. Canas did get through. I really shouldn't try and second guess myself. I got it right. And then I got it wrong again. So that's Canas, and then went, it's not, it's Martin. Martin has a similar kind of car. Do you know what gave it away? I just said, look at the car going, that's got normal position shocks.
Exactly.
That's not him. So Canas and so let's be honest, this is like we've seen quite a lot in the recent RCGP history. Canas all around Ongaro. Ongaro kind of moves him slightly out the outside of the corner to come over the old-fashioned section back onto the touring cars. Boda not really pulling away, but Boots certainly is. It's now really whether Canas can annoy Ongaro enough to get past him. It's the last qualifier, so they've whizzed through the qualifiers today. It's only 11:45 local time.
Canas is looking. Remember, these guys had a kerfuffle in
They
Italy.
did.
They are not friends right now.
There's a few people who have been slightly falling out prior to major events. Can't think why.
Yeah. Well, I think what it is the omnipotence.
Why.
The omnipotence of Ongaro is kind of wearing away, I think, a little bit, and Canas is really improving.
I don't think Canas ever cared about anyone's reputation. Canas is not. He took it to Royal Battles immediately. He doesn't care about reps at all.
No, he doesn't.
He's not involved in any teams which these drivers are. There's no team element to it either. He's from a different country, so he just doesn't care. Let's be honest about this. Boda not. Mistake. Oh, got away with that one, didn't he? Made a mistake, did a cartwheel. So as he comes off the fire grate, comes off the fire grate. Boda was struggling, comes off the fire grate, gets a little bit oversteer, and then the thing's rolling. But he gets away with it, just loses a position. So it's still Boda running in second, which is a great... Oh, just some time there now. Look at it, it's Canas all over the back of Boda. France v Spain now. Don't forget that Boots is 3.2 seconds ahead. Look, they disappeared in the darkness there for a while. Up and over the tabletop, second and third. The yellow wheels of both cars are one's blue and white, one's red and grey. Actually, they're both S-Works as well. So S-Works are 1, 2 and 3 in this at the moment.
Yeah. Great driving by Boda. Very good driving by him.
He's not been phased, and I think there's a situation really where if you've got a bit of clear track in front of you, it's worth a lot more than in normal tracks. Normally a clear track's a little bit of advantage, but you find that people... It's saying that and being nice about it, we've blown it. And he's rolled over and lost at least 3 positions. So he was doing it, everything was great. He's going to get it slightly wrong, got the car mixed up as it went onto the second surface there, and he's going to drop down to about 5th or 6th.
And just earlier, the previous lap, I saw Ongaro take a little nibble at Canas. He wouldn't like that. These two are definitely... These guys do not want to lose to each other, that's for sure.
No, but they are both losing by a comprehensive margin to Elliot Boots. Oh, and Canas made a mistake, and Ongaro's through. So they're on the last lap now. So this is the battle for second place. Boots has won it, unless he makes an unbelievable error, because he's 3.5 seconds ahead. And it looks like actually Ongaro, having got that bit of a freebie, is trying to stretch it. This is where he made a mistake a couple of laps ago. No mistake with the fire grate this time. Comes to the lower sections. Back round the right, then turn sharp right onto the older track, where it's effectively a section of bomb holes and craters. But Canas, who wants to make the position up, has got to make something special happen in the last couple of corners. Up at the inside, no, just tight there, tight. And Boots takes it. Ongaro second and Canas is third. Looks like Lee Martin's going to get another good result with a 4th. Clement Boda will be disappointed with 6th. Pecco 5th, that's going to put him high up overall at the start with a second and a 5th. But I need to go and talk to people.
Yeah. As Nick goes over and gets ready to conversate, let's have a look at our okay. Let's see. So Elliot Boots got a very good win for Elliot Boots. Davide Ongaro, Juan Carlos Canas, Lee Martin, Pecco in 5th, Clement Boda 6th. Unfortunate for him. Rana Falk starting from the back, 7th. Hampusberg 8th. Tom Robin after a great start finishes in 9th. Zankatine as well making mistakes. And another bad qualifier for Brandon Rose and James Lepovo, the man from Guernsey. So that is your last qualifier for RCGP, I believe. Let's check my schedule. Exciting racing. I'm sure we're going to have some... Yes, we're waiting for the drivers to get down. We're going to hand over to Nick right now as he has some drivers to talk to.
I've got just some drivers. We've got the drivers. There's Juan Carlos Canas. That was a fighty one, wasn't it?
Yeah, the end was super bad. Someone hit me. I don't know who. And I tried to go fast. Finally, the car is good, but in 5 minutes it's super difficult to go to the first. I have a good car for the finals.
Excellent. Thank you, Juan Carlos. Next, Davide. there's a lot going on in that one, wasn't there? There's a lot of action. You made a couple of mistakes. There was incidents. There was cars all over the place. It's getting very fighty out there, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. I mean, doesn't matter.
But yeah, we've seen this sort of action in the 5-minute races. I mean, how do you think that's going to be for the 15-minute races?
I mean, we are working for the car for 15 or 16 minutes for tomorrow, and then car is working better now. We are really confident and try to not mistake. That is not easy here, especially when the others crash into you. But yeah, it's okay.
Okay, thanks. And finally, our double winner, winner. 2 points. Well, I was going to go there, and I thought, no, it's 2 points so far. Effectively, what you did was what we haven't seen so. You just got out in front and went, thank you very much, I'll just disappear now.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see on this track, the start is pretty key. It's very difficult to pass. So once I had a bit of a gap, I see them battling. I just made sure I stayed off the tubing.
So you pulled it back just to make sure you got round?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just a little bit of get in the comfort zone and just run consistent laps. They might have been pulling on me a little bit, but we had enough time in that race.
So how do you now change that mental approach for the slightly longer, the 3-time longer race?
Yeah, I mean, we feel good. I mean, the whole weekend, I mean, like when we was doing the 4 laps and stuff to do the reseeding, we was good for the whole 5 minutes, and the car's pretty comfortable to drive for a longer period of time. So that's what we was kind of working forward to, and it seems to work out.
Great stuff. Thank you, Elliot. So that's the top 3 from the final qualifier. Next time you see these guys, it'll be for the first of the 2-legged main finals, 15 minutes plus 2 laps. And what I'm going to do now, yes, I'm going to hand back to Lefty.
Yeah, that is the last qualifier for RCGP. Let's see if we're going to get some points there. So David Ronefeld still in first with 61. Nangaro closing the gap by 40 with 49 now. Joe Bornhaus, who is in her, 41. JCC, or a.k.a. Cream, Juan Carlos Canas in 37. Elliot Boots picked up some valuable point with that with 35. Hampusberg in 7th. Cole Tollard, who we might see in America, I'm not sure, in 6th. Lee Martin in 8th. Leonardo Valente in 9th. JQ, who's retired, in 10th. Aiden Horn 11th, Spencer Heck 12th, Evan Vale 13th, and Brandon Rose and Max Hess bringing up 14 and 15. Let's have a look at the manufacturers' point standings now. So S-Works just continues to increase their lead. They have 137 points. Well, they haven't increased it yet, but still they have a 15-point lead. My math is probably off. They're against the Associated Scuderia Scampi Rosso team, Mayako, with I guess they have 4 more races left, so they can make up some pace there in this and make up some points in this weekend. Beach RC on an 80th with 80 points, and Nemo Agama Racing 61, and the JQSM Invisible Speed team with 57 points. So I'd like to say thank you to all the sponsors of RCGP. They are Nemo, Agama Racing, Team Associated Scuderia Scampi Rosso, S-Works, Mayako, JQSM Invisible Speed, Beach RC, Circus RC, Everlapse, Mal Graphics, House of RC, Control, who are doing all the awesome work as well, Control and RC Racing TV. And shout out to the No Name RC podcast, who are listening to the voice of the No Name RC podcast, Lefty the Great Disappointment. I believe we are going for... What's up now, James? Yes, we're going to sign off and go for RC2 for their 4th round of qualifying. All right, so we are back up for Group 1 of RC2. We want to thank all the RC2 drivers that came out to support RCGP and Nemo Raceway this weekend. We greatly appreciate you guys coming out. We can't do it without the RC2 drivers. So this is our third heat one of this. So this is the lower heat of RC2. So 6 people from this lower 6 from RC2 will then be teamed up with the top 6 from RCGP for the RCGP Loves RC2, which will be great for these drivers. The pro drivers will drive their cars, bring them in and give them some setup tips and see if they can't coach their driver to beat their best fast lap. It was very successful in Italy. People had a lot of fun. We're looking forward to doing it here this weekend as well. It's great fun. That will be, I believe the video for that will be up shortly from RCGP. We have their focus. We can see all the pitman. We have James LaPavot and the beautiful agua colored Beach RC shirt. You see Leon Morale there looking serious as ever. Mark Rumble, nice, got to know him as well here as I believe is the team manager for Nemo Racing. Nice gentleman. You see Scott Walker's dad over there tuning on Mike Driscoll's car, it looks like. Good chap. Needs to get that tuned up for him. Good to see. Brandon Rose taking his turn marshalling position. Brandon's happy to be here in England, but I think this surface is kind of, he's struggling on the surface. Have never driven on any type of surface like this in his life. It's good to have the young man from Texas out here. Has had a very impressive year here in 2022. He's had a lot of top 10 finishes at major races here in America. And he had a good time at RCGP in South Carolina. We had a good time there of all the South Carolinians and all the people from the East Coast that came to the RCGP in USA, as well as we had a big contingent from Mexico as well. It was good to see those guys. Hopefully we will have the same coming out for the USA round, which will be held in October, not too long away from now. As we get these guys out for their 3-minute warm-up here. So yesterday, I was literally told that he had, one of my friends said, I had enough track time yesterday. He didn't even finish his last practice session. He said he had enough track time. So good to hear. That's what I like to hear, coming from these crowds. RCGP Loves RC2 coming up later. Yeah, this is the last round of qualifying. So Anthony Williams, Ben Kennett, Neil Dunn from Guernsey, Luke Bennett, Mike Driscoll from Wales, Josh Hopper, Ben Johnson, Alice McGreen, Lyndon Hammer, Paul Casal, and Josh Graham. These are your 11 drivers for the Heat 1 of Q3. This is the last qualifier of the day for RC2. As Nick rejoins me in the mobile studio. So later on today we have the RCGP Main 1 coming to you at 4:30, RC2 Junior Final at 5, the RC2 40 Plus Final at 3:20. Then we have RCGP Main 2 at 10 to 4 this afternoon. Then we have the podium trophy presentation, and then we will do the RCGP Loves RC2 at 5 o'clock UK time, 12 o'clock EST, and that's about all the time zones my brain can calculate at this moment. If you want to find the schedule, it's on Facebook. You can find it there. We're looking forward to some exciting RCGP 15-minute races. And then, of course, we got the young juniors here, and, of course, the 40-plus final, which it looks like Kevin Brunson will be the favorite to win that, barring any problems.
Well, he's got to have a good chance, isn't he, really?
Very good chance. And there's my favorite car of the race is that brilliantly bright orange Agama. That
Ben Kennett.
Ben Kennett. I think he's from Ireland, I believe.
Ireland. I don't know.
Ireland. But I really like his car. It's every bit that can be decaled is decaled, and everything is color coordinated and matched, even to the inserts that he has in his A, B, and C blocks, I believe.
That is a lot of color coordinated.
He is very coordinated. You got to coordinate. You got to coordinate.
Hey, man. Coordinate me. Coordinate me up, baby.
You guys are watching the last qualifier of RC2. If you're just joining, if you're wondering what this material is that they're running on.
What is this? What is
We
this?
still don't know, but it's some sort of synthetic fiber material that they use apparently on hockey fields and field hockey pitches and playgrounds. And John Hazel was telling us that they imported it from Holland. And one of the reasons probably why we don't have a lot of obstacles or jumps on the track is because it was held up in customs for a few weeks, and that put them way back on their timetable. So, but big shout out to John and the Nemo Raceway crew for all their hard work that they put in, and we look forward to seeing how this track develops over the coming months.
Absolutely. Well said, Lefty.
So Nick has his new toy. Nick's in charge of the replays.
Well, yeah, possibly, but something has to happen first. Oh, we changed cars, and we've changed cars to, is that car 1 now?
That is car 1.
That is car 1 of first name Williams, Anthony Williams. There we are.
Anthony Williams out there.
Oh.
Makes a mistake as soon as I say his name.
That's your fault, totally.
I will take full blame for that. Full unadulterated responsibility for that crash.
Yes, what's happening with these? This is the final qualifying round.
This is the final qualifying round, and then we go on lunch break.
Well, you might do. Someone said to work.
I'm going to go do my walkabout.
Yeah, so basically, sorry. Stefan's here now with result. Oh, final groups, I say. Thank you, Stefan.
There's the qualifying race as
well. Okay.
So we've got the results. I'm going to, I'm not even going to show you. Sorry, just talk about this because I got distracted by about seven different things at once there, which is impressive. Effectively, they have 3 qualifying heats, but this just puts into their subgroups, and there's a qualifying race. So the top probably 10, maybe 9 or 10 will go into each one of those sub-races. And they are actual races off the gate, and that will provide, in the end, so say you're 9th, and you come 3rd, you'll be 3rd overall.
Yeah, that's where you.
And that will then define where you are in the quarters, the semis, or the quarters of the semis, and the quarterfinals and semi-finals run tomorrow, of course. So even though these guys finish their running at about 2 o'clock, there is a junior final, there is a senior final, and there is RCGP loves RC2. So there's plenty more RC2 action today.
Yep. We have a full day of racing ahead of us.
And tomorrow as well.
Yes.
Right, so this is the order of qualifying for the finals. It's what have I actually won by qualifying this way, which is just a position, your first choice on the stand. So let's see how are you cheating here. I was going to ask you how good you are in predicting the overall positions on the grid.
I don't know, but I'm trying to look through the back.
Right,
I should have said that.
Who do you think is where?
Boots, TQ.
Yeah, Boots is TQ. You're absolutely right. Who's second?
Ongaro.
Ongaro is second. That's right.
Canas.
Yes.
That's Pecco.
Yep.
Lee Mark.
Oh, well, yeah. How are you seeing this?
That's David Ronnefalk. Clement Boda.
You've got it to the back, have you? Okay. Right. So it goes, so the qualifying for RCGP is as follows. Elliot Boots will be the first choice of gate. Davide Ongaro second. Juan Carlos Canas will be third. Pecco Avino is fourth. Lee Martin is fifth. And Hampersberg is sixth. They'll be the people sitting on the front row. Seventh is Clement Boda. Eighth is David Ronnefalk. Ninth is Alex Zanchetti. 10th is Tom Robat. 11th is James Lepreveau. And 12th is Brandon Rose. So
Brandon not having a good day today.
He had a lot of problems.
Yep.
Brandon's ended up with 10th and 2 11ths.
Boots will be happy.
Boots has a 1, 1 and 7. Mm-hmm. Ongaro has a 5, 1 and 2. Canas 2, 4, 3. Even and 3, 2, 5. Martin 6, 3, 4. It is not very much. This is his position. There's kind of a big jump then because Lee Martin had 13 overall points, and we got to 22 points for Berg and Boda, 3 for Ronnefalk, 4 for Zanchetti. So it's actually interestingly, Boots and Ongaro have the same number of points.
But Boots had a better finishing position.
Yeah, it's 2 wins by 7. So it's 2 wins and a 7. 2 wins and a 7 against a winner, second, and a 5th. So those 2 wins have done it.
Sure, it looks like we're following Mike Driscoll from Wales. Out there, just started running nitro a few months ago, actually. Him and I have talked quite a lot. His nice gentleman is here with his son, Matty. Bought me some Welsh beer, by the way, that I haven't tasted yet. So I will try that later on today. Ooh, good save by Mike. That could have been very ugly as he goes over the ski jump. I was coaching him yesterday. I was pitting for him, and I was like, if you don't send it over that jump, I'm not pitting for you anymore. Stop slowing down. And he listened. They're wheeling around his Mayako with the silver wing. Silver wing means you are part of the MPC, the Mayako performance community. Those are the only people that could get that silver ring. Looking quite solid out here. For a man that has never raced nitro, he's definitely taken to the nitro side of things. And he realized that e-buggy is not paying his bills. And that nitro is where it's at.
I've just been giving a bit more information about the from Stefan, our erstwhile miracle timekeeper, about why people at the same points got differentiated between. So the difference on pole was that Elliott beat Davide by his best result 2, which was a 1. So he's got 2 1s and a 7 against a 1, 2, and 5. So that's good in the point situation. Hampersberg beats Clement because his best result is a 5th rather than a 6th. So there we are.
Oh, okay.
Your single best result, or if you've got the single one, it's your second best result. So that's why there were 2 draws. Thank you, Stefan, for upping our information level to enough.
Yes.
It's not very relaxed there.
I'm trying because this piece of wood keeps cutting into
Yeah,
my neck.
there is a little bit. Yeah, we are sitting in the, as you said, the mobile truck commentary area, and there does seem to be a bit of a lack of padding on the seats. I mean, we need to have a quick conversation with the person who constructed that, but he's behind us pressing buttons.
I'm sure he would tell us in some words we can't say what we can do.
It's a possibility he may be uninterested in our sore bottoms. It has to be said.
But it's probably the most comfortable. Italy was very nice. But it's definitely nice to sit down and call the races for a change.
This is all right. I quite like it. The thing about here is we're just out in the air, we're enjoying the open air, we're enjoying the atmosphere.
Mind you, if it was Italy and we were stuck in here.
Yeah, it'd be too hot. We were car 9, by the way. From my vague, have a quick think that was the car I come out. It is 9. That says the 9 of Alice McGuigan, what you were just showing there. There's Alice on the screen. I think she's on a cool down lap now. Oh, bucking Bronco and upside down. I'm not that such replay at the moment.
So Josh Graham takes this qualifier, followed by Anthony Williams, Ben Kennett, Neil Daunt, Luke Bennett, Ben Johnson, Mike Driscoll, Josh Hopper, Alice McQueen, and Paul Casal and Lyndon Hammer.
Josh Graham is about the second fastest person in the entirety of the RCGP.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be in the final, barring any.
But I think he's the guy who turns up today.
Yes. So 0 practice for him, but he's showing pace right away.
He does not need any.
Probably not.
Practice is for fools.
As we see JCC making his way across with his teammate Elliott Boots. Elliott Boots will be properly chuffed about his starting, about getting the upper edge on these guys, but they all have to start on the gate.
Yeah, it's not quite the same as the main final, the 60-minute final, is it?
Mao has informed me that he is back to normal.
From what?
Because he was not the regular Mao yesterday, but today he's all smiles.
So what was missing from Mao yesterday?
Coffee.
It's relatively easy to sort that out. There's a cafe.
He says that's not coffee.
Oh, right. He wanted to go full Italian espresso.
He wants Starbucks.
He went to Starbucks?
He wants Starbucks.
He wants Starbucks?
Yes.
It's only a mile away.
Where? Nobody can find it. We've been trying to find it for the longest time.
Starbucks a mile and a half away.
Oh, he's going to
It's
be...
not a Starbucks. It's a Starbucks to go.
Oh.
So it's Starbucks-style coffee. It's an Esso station just over there that's got a Starbucks to go.
Oh.
So you make your own drinks. Like you do in service stations in... Well, you wouldn't know this because you don't live in Europe. But you get it in the service stations in the continent, especially Belgium. Can I warn you that if you actually do travel in Belgium. Are you like traveling in Belgium soon? Say yes.
Yes.
Thank you. It's the only country where the motorway service stations, well, I know of, make you pay to go to the toilet.
We have that in the DR too,
Yeah,
like in the beaches and
I'm
stuff
talking
like that.
I'm talking about. No. This is the motorway service station.
Oh, you
This
have
is
to.
where you are on a motorway.
Oh, that's
or
different.
a freeway, and you get off and you want to go to have a natural break, and they make you pay for it. Well, what they actually do is they make you pay €1 or half a euro, but then they give you a little voucher saying you can spend it at the shop. So you can buy something horribly overpriced. So effectively, they're charging you for a natural function at a motorway service station, which is not how it should be, and I was very upset. So much so that I actually, and I'm going to admit a bit of criminality here, I just squeezed the turnstile. Not doing that. Not doing that. Not paying your toilet tax, you Belgians.
Toilet tax.
Yeah.
Belgium, home of Kevin De Bruyne and Vincent Company.
Hello, Toby Meister. How are you?
What's up, Toby? How you doing, man? Toby's been
Can you follow Josh Gray? We missed that one. Sorry about
Right.
that, Max. We were looking at every other page we've got at the moment. We've got a lot of pages at the moment. We're also waiting to get the all clear to start replays again.
Toby and I were talking the other day, and I was telling him how much I missed my UK snacks, and it was good to be here. And he's like, "Yeah, I just order them off Amazon and get them sent to me because he's a Brit living in America."
He is.
So we have Billy Grinley, Michael Shorey, Barkley Avenue, Tommy Dale, Robert Cockcroft, Holger Like, Leon Morrell, Andrew Rennick, Johnny Stroud, and Darren Moon, the vintage rally car driver.
What sort of rally car is it? Is it like a
I would have to
Ford
ask
or
him.
that's see, weirdly, that's the first thing I've said. What is it you drive? Not like, oh, you're okay.
See, you are more into cars than I am. I don't really follow car culture like that.
Well, you should.
But we live in Bermuda where we have very small cars and we don't have a racetrack.
Yeah, but now you live in domestic.
Yeah, but it's more. They don't have a. They do have one racetrack. But I've just never been a car guy. Surprisingly enough.
So how many people live in the DR?
How do they live?
How many people live?
There are. Well, officially it's 10 million, but unofficially it's probably more around 13.
There's 3 million people who are what, just unregistered.
Yeah, well, it shares a border with Haiti.
Right.
So lots of and Haiti is the poorest country in the.
Yeah, Haiti's not doing very well at the moment, is it?
No, they haven't done very well for a long time. So.
Well, they've not been helped out by, was it corrupt governments, earthquakes?
Oh yeah.
More corrupt governments, typhoon, hurricanes. They've kind of had that the triumphant of hurricanes, earthquakes, and corruption.
And then they had a
assassination and a coup. So they've really decided to actually have all the bad. And of course, the worst thing of all, of course, they've got voodoo and zombies as well.
Well, what happens is that when they get hit, they've deforested so much of Haiti for charcoal, for cooking purposes. So when it does, hurricanes and stuff come, the rain is what causes all the mudslides and all that type of stuff. So, but yeah.
So when they had the when was the earthquake they had? It was
2010.
The UNDR.
Yep.
Obviously, the earthquake must be felt in the DR because it's next door.
Yeah. So it's of my girlfriend at the time. We was at my bike shop, and I remember her just like, I feel so weird, and sitting on the ground. And I was like, and that exact moment is when the earthquake happened.
So how violent was it where you were?
No, I didn't feel it, but I have been in an earthquake.
Oh, right.
And it was very interesting in Dominican Republic. The whole house was shaking. I thought I was going insane because my recliner usually goes back and forth. It was going side to side, and then I saw everything after it stopped. The vase and everything on the coffee table was moving. It was a strange feeling. It was very strange.
Yeah, I was in quite a strong. Well, no, I was in a medium strength earthquake, which I didn't really know had happened because it happened when I was at Suzuka, and I was in the pit lane, and there were cars rumbling past me.
You wouldn't know.
And it was doing that as well, and we're going. I thought, like you think that's a bit weird, but you couldn't work out what it was. And the guys in the production centre, they were on a. The production was actually built on stilts, so it kind of cushioned the movement. And they were going, something really weird's happening here. I mean, it's like a 6, which is nothing in Japan. Japan, it's like there's not a 9. They aren't bothered, but it was quite a strong earthquake. I was actually in an earthquake as well in Northampton.
Really?
Yeah, it was a tiny one, like a 3.5, but it was right on the epicenter. So actually, I woke up and did that whole thing, and you're going, that is so strange. But obviously, it's like nothing compared to the real disaster. But it's still, you got a tiny taste of what it's like. And it's quite strange. It completely affects your perception of reality because you're not used to the Earth moving. Well, I was my wife all the time, but I'm not used to the Earth moving.
Have you ever seen a volcano?
I wonder where you're going with that question then, actually. Have I ever seen it? Not from close up. I've seen Etna from a distance. I've not seen one where you can actually see over the top and see the lava.
Like, have you ever been around a close town where you're not astronaut? Yeah, I was in Ecuador. And they were almost going to evacuate the town, and they stopped us from working for that day, and we just went out and partied that night.
That's cool. I got we were with Barclay up in Athens when I was changing cars. Let's find out who it is with now. With the 8 car of Andrew Rennick from Northern Ireland. I got stranded. Well, sorry, remember the volcano went in about 2010 from Iceland and stopped all the flights. So I got stuck. Well, I was in England and got stuck in England, which is a bit odd because I was supposed to go abroad, but I had to stay in England, so I didn't go anywhere. So I wasn't like stranded, but I was stuck. And John Hindhaugh got stuck in America.
No way.
And spent 3 days. John Hindhaugh did, you know that Tom Hanks film, The Terminal?
Yes.
He did that. He stayed in the terminal for 3 days.
Oh, that's not fun.
Because he had lounge access. So he'd go into the lounge, so he was airside. When the lounge opened at 6, he'd go in. When the lounge shut at 12, he'd go out. And he'd just kind of crash for 6 hours on seat and then live on the lounge. And so obviously he was living large. And obviously the lounge people kind of understood what was going on. Because he's in the States, all the domestic flights were still going because they weren't affected by the cloud. It was only stuff coming over the top that was affected.
Interesting. I forgot all about the volcano.
Oh, we've had so many world events. This is the interesting thing, isn't it? There's so many unpleasant things happening, and be they man-made or natural disasters. You forget about the natural disaster in 10 years. You can't get the impression, it's only ever been this. But no, it's always been problems. It's always been issues.
All right, so we have 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Maybe we have some people asking to follow some people.
That's an excellent concept, have we? Car 3 of... Oh, we were following Berkeley a minute ago, I think. At the start we followed Berkeley, haven't nothing, I think. Pretty sure we did. Not certain, to be honest. Where is he?
Car 3 is Barclay.
Yeah, I thought we were on him earlier, but because we were chatting so excitedly about everything and nothing. By the way, when they go their next race, when they do their qualifying races, we'll give it the full-on dramatic commentary for the qualifying races coming up after these. But this is just guys just effectively doing laps. So, barring them not doing laps, it's not the most exciting thing in the world. I haven't seen number 3 actually. He's still running. I think he's stopped. That's why, is it? He's last. He's very last. Yeah, can't find. But hang on.
Just went across. There he is.
He's the pink one. I do think we had him, but that's fine. Get the pink car going. About to go over the tabletop jump.
He's got him. You had him. You had him.
Yeah, no. Here, now we go. Tabletop jump. That's the one. That's the baby. So this could be a double Barclay if you're a big Barclay fan.
Double
Barclay. What happened to you today? I heard double Barclay. Is that a euphemism? No, I have one.
What would be the nickname for Barclay? Barker?
I call him Nightingale.
I don't know where that comes from.
A nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. Very famous song from the 30s.
Yeah, I would not know that song.
Yeah, but that's not the point. You said, what would you call him? I've come up with
Nightingale. Okay.
Incredibly clever. Just blow me on track. No, you know what I'm saying. To give you an idea, the guy who was fastest in the last group is a second and a half faster than the average. Actually 1.9 seconds faster than this group. So it is Rennick, Grindley, Dale, Shorey, Cockcroft. No? Thank you very much. Delivery from the marvellous Zach. So I can keep my whistle wetted.
Definitely.
Diet Coke. No calories. They say. Just find anybody else, Ash. Always just having a real... Oh, there we go. It's taking a long time to think about it. It's gone for this. That's car 6 of... Holger-like.
I have to go find out
Yellow.
which one is the...
Oh, is it 6? Have I misread that? Is it 9? Is it 9? It is 9, so I misread that. It's actually
Johnny Stroud.
So it's Johnny Stroud. Not quite sure I got 6 and 9 wrong. It wasn't like it was upside down or anything. So, Stroud. Oof. You don't want that snap oversteer. I'll tell you right now, Johnny has absolutely no confidence in that car. The way he's driving, he has no confidence.
Whoa.
He's got no confidence in what it's going to do.
Whoa.
Oh, I might be too late. I had the wrong page up to get the replay. But you just look at the attitude of the machine. Just look at the way it's being driven. And that's someone who's going round the laps and isn't attacking. He's just got no confidence in it.
He does.
Maybe the way he's going backwards, it may have picked up a problem during this race. Yeah, I think he may have picked a problem during the heat because it's now looking like he isn't that slow compared to everyone else. So, but honestly, I've been like that. I've driven cars where you just lose confidence in them halfway around a run. With 12 cars, it's when they suddenly develop snap oversteer, and you can't hold it, and you just go, you just rotate around everything so carefully.
His car looks a lot higher than everybody else's car out there too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No criticism implied. It's just it is a confidence gig. A lot of this. It's really all about if you feel confident in your car, you can go quickly or much quicker, even though it's exactly the same car. Just you feel confident in it, and you'll push it. And oddly, it'll do horrible things, and you'll go, it's fine. So time is just about expired, I think. And it has expired. I can tell that because that's come up for you to read out.
Billy Grindley and Bottle Tune himself, Andrew Rennick in second, Tommy Dale third, Holger Like fourth, Michael Shorey fifth, Robert Cockcroft sixth, Leo Morel seventh, and I did not get to see the rest of them.
Oh, it's
unfortunate.
Well, hang on, look.
There we go. Johnny Stroud eighth, Darren Moon ninth, and Barkley, unfortunately not having a good run.
He broke down early.
Did he?
Yeah. I'm not saying he had a good run, but he did break down early.
We're coming up on the top heat of RC2. And then we will go on to our lunch break.
Well, you might go on to your lunch break.
I'm going to go do my lefty walkabout. Maybe get some lunch.
You'll get some lunch.
After this, we will be back on air at 14:20 for RCGP Stadium.
No, you've missed out.
No, I've missed the
races.
Yeah, where is that?
It's on the next page at the top.
Oh, right. There we go. Sorry. We will be back at 1:10 UK time.
There we are.
For the qualifying races of
the
RC2.
RC2 races.
Yes.
Actual races.
So
when they're actually racing.
This is when it's all for the marbles in this one.
All for the marbles?
Yeah, you never heard that saying?
No.
Yeah. I probably have misworded it wrong, but it's something similar to that. But that's what I do. Say things wrong, meaning something else.
Sounds like a plan.
It's 12:25. You see Leon making his way out to do his turn marshalling duties. One thing about Leon, he is not afraid to tell you how it is.
That is very true.
And he is probably from one of the most epic rants in the 2019
season
one of RCGP. He was not too happy with a lot of the rough driving.
He was mechanicking for Lee at that point.
Yep. I believe he's actually still helping Lee in the
they're still good mates, yeah. No, this wasn't it's not sort of a terrible divorce or anything. They're just Leon wanted to go and do full-scale racing, which takes up a lot of time. And money. They're out and about. A lot of cars I noticed were doing a little hoppity there to get a bit of free space in this warm-up.
I'm going to have a walk on the pits here and see what people have been changing. I would like to know if they've changed anything from yesterday.
They've changed their underpants, I think.
So Kevin Brunson, Thomas Musso, Another one of the Light brothers, Tom Sartell, Ruben Shakespeare, Walker, Cook, Chris Lovell, Ferguson, and Wittitz are Group 3, Q3, here at the beautiful Nemo Raceway.
Beautiful downtown Nemo Raceway.
Bishop Itcherton.
Yes.
So what would that be? What would Bishop Itcherton be? If this isn't a county, what is this?
That's just a local village area.
Okay, so this would be a village.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's what? In England it goes county.
No, because counties are areas.
Okay.
Right? Such as an area of land as a county. And then you have, obviously, city, town, village, hamlet.
No parishes?
Those parishes are within towns.
Ah, okay.
So a parish could be an entire village.
Right.
The difference between a village and a hamlet. Village and hamlets, well, they're normally quite small. I think a village is below 1,000 people, I think. But a hamlet hasn't got a church, and a village has. Okay?
Okay.
And then you go to towns and cities, and towns are just bigger villages, up to massive size. And to be a city, up until recently, you had to have a cathedral, an Anglican cathedral at that. But now they give city status, like, Milton Keynes got city status because it just asked for it, because it's a big town. Or was a big town, not a city. So, yes, that's the differences.
Well, Bermuda has 9 parishes. Should be 10.
The one falling in the sea.
Well, the one that where I'm from, it's actually the biggest body of land in Bermuda, and it's actually a part of St. George's Parish, but it's called St. David's. And we've been lobbying to become a parish for many, many years.
Have you got your own church?
We have many churches.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Certainly within the UK, a parish was always defined by the area of influence of a church. But I think it may be that as the number of churches and the number of areas have declined, perhaps the parish now extends to what was traditionally 2 or 3 old churches.
Well, Bermuda is not short of churches, that's for sure.
You like your God.
They do.
Is it all what? Is it Anglican? Or
No,
is it like,
actually the biggest church is Seventh Day.
Really? Seventh-day Adventists?
That and AME.
That's slightly irritating because the Seventh-day Adventists, they're Saturday worshippers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that must be really annoying. I mean, I don't really give it anything about religion one way or the other, but honestly disagree on a day.
Well, it starts from sundown Friday to sundown Friday to sundown Saturday.
All right, because they can go drinking Saturday night then.
No. Yeah, they can go drinking Saturday night.
Yeah.
But when I was a youth, I had to stay with my aunt, and she was the one my mom would go in. I would not like it because every Friday I couldn't watch TV.
Oh, it's that strict?
Yeah, she was that strict.
Ah, right. Yeah, so you've got, but obviously the Seventh-day Adventists and the Jewish faith obviously are Friday to Saturday evening. Muslim countries, it's Friday and Saturday. Though, of course, what's happening in the UAE is they've moved their... Because the weekends used to be... only a few years ago, the Middle East weekends were Thursday and Friday. And then they slowly all sort of moved to Friday and Saturday just to try and get the working weeks a little bit more aligned. And the UAE's now moved. The UAE, optional at the moment, but the UAE government, it's now Saturday and Sunday with Friday afternoon.
Really? Well,
so they get Friday afternoon to go to 1 o'clock prayers, which is the most important one. And then they have Saturday and Sunday off, and they work 4.5 days of longer hours in the 4 days.
Well, not for us when we was in UAE. 6 days a week, just Friday off.
Yeah, but that's because you were a foreign worker.
Yeah.
And therefore, honestly,
I was there to work.
Not even a third-class citizen, but there we go. Actually, you must have been all right, because you would have been... this is Eric Lyke on camera at the moment. Because you were the management side, weren't you, in there?
Oh no, I was with the European side of things.
That's the key point. You don't want to be with the Filipino or the Indian subcontinent side because they are, let's say, a level down. That's a fair way of putting it.
Oh, it definitely has levels.
It does.
Much lower than that too.
So number 2, we're with Thomas Musso.
Musso looking to.
He's not really had Brunson's place. Let's
No, he doesn't.
this.
What is that flapping? Oh, it must be his. Okay, it's a fuel tank pull.
Yeah, he's got a very obvious fuel tank puller. We'll actually get to do some racing in about an hour's time, or an hour and a half time. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. I'm quite looking forward to seeing the RC2 at the front, but I think it's going to be. I think it might be a little bit. What's the word for it? Aggy. They might really be going for it, and they haven't had it because they've had no experience of racing.
Thomas Musso, your winner in Italy. coming over to take that RC2 championship, and that will give HB Racing the RC2 championship. Quite ironic.
Yes, it is, given everything else that's gone on with more politics in RC that we don't need.
Intense.
Yes, it was. It was a very intense argument. Oh, very well put. Excellent stuff. You obviously talk about arguments in RC. I know you intensively. Intense again. Can you just drop back one more out to get a different car? Thanks, mate. Whatever this one is. Hopefully, something we haven't seen before. It is number 7, isn't it? Yeah, it's a 7 car of Maxime Cook, who we haven't seen before. Excellent. You obviously were all over the coverage of the Visions race and the fallout of the Mayfield and Tessman argument. So what was the general, what did you feel was the general feeling from the community about that argument? Was it bad for RC? Was it good for RC?
No,
was it neutral for RC?
I think it was good for, I mean, that is the maximum amount of type of stuff I want to see. I don't want to see violence. I mean, that was the minimum amount of violence I would, you know, it wasn't really that big deal, but we have to let these, I was really happy. A lot of people were saying, oh, he shouldn't have put his hands on him and stuff like that. I mean, it was a push, but a lot of people have to understand that when it comes to this type of racing at that level, it's a job for these guys. It's not, it isn't just fun. So,
how much was the money and how much was just Mayfield and Tessman?
I think it was just Mayfield and Tessman, to be honest. I don't really think it was much to do with the money. Mind you, it could have played a role because I don't think that they got a good contingency. So they had to make money. You know, they would have to make some money off that race. But that's something that's been brewing for a long time, and it came to a head. It started really coming to light at Silver State, I would say, when kind of Tessman kind of similar type of move or something. But yeah, I would say that they definitely don't like each other, and I am really happy that the industry embraced it and allowed them to, like when Mayfield made his video response, express himself, and they embraced it instead of brushing it under the carpet, which is needed because this is like any other sport, except that we aren't actually physically hurting, you know, in danger. But
well, it's your marshalling.
This is true. But these guys are emotional. We say we want things to be better with more spark. Well, we got it.
Yep. And I look forward to them being best of friends by the time they get to Spain.
That won't happen.
Oh, car being brought back at the number 10 car of Chris Willits, unfortunately, being recovered, I think, by his mechanic.
What did you think of it, Nick?
Me? I thought it was, oh, this sounds really bad. I thought it's absolutely great because it gave, historically, Live RC and I have had issues, but we're honestly at this point, we're as close to best friends as you can get for someone you never see. And I thought it was great. I thought they got their moment. They put on a great event, and it had been poorly supported by, I understand reasons for it, by Joe Racer, and I understand the reasons why, but it had been poorly supported. I think Brandon must have been very disappointed with the uptake outside the pros. He got the pros he wanted, but he didn't get the whatever their equipment RC2 was. But it was great. He got his moment, and you know the racing. The racing was fine. The track was fine, but it wasn't ever going to be, because of the race it was. It was never going to be the race that was going to be the moment. So he got it because it's legged final. So there's nothing ever won you the race.
Right.
In a legged event, there's no crucial parts. Even you say that one in the leg, and the actual event was won also over the two previous legs. And that's not a criticism of the legs. It was a good. But at that point, you don't get that racing moment. But he got the moment, and I think it's really important because that got him the publicity the work he put in.
Yeah, of course, I agree.
And I think it's, I've got I don't want to sound like some sort of doing this thing. It's coverage of RC, which Brandon's been doing for a couple of years longer than we have. Sometimes it's just really hard. And that's why you'll see that if you look at what we're doing here, you're sitting in a van. This van's not for RC. This van's for all the other stuff the guys in control do. I've got guys doing karting this weekend because we've had to branch out. Brandon is doing brilliantly with lifetime. That's what's making him his man. That's why he can afford an RV, because he's not an RV, an Arctic, because he's done really well with lifetime.
Yeah.
No, we all first love is RC, but we've all had to move out of it to make a living.
I would agree there.
So I think it's great that he's done that. Now talking about RC2, we just run the results with Brunselman again. Thomas Musso was second. Third was Tom Sartell, who was in the third place, actually, overall, would be the guy whose name I've forgotten, won the first heat. He was there at 5. And then Scott Walker, Maxim Cook, Eric Like, Jason Ferguson, Chris Lovell, Ruben Shakespeare, and Chris Wood. I'll save the rest of the conversation for now, because we have something even more exciting.
Oh, what do we have?
And that is the RC2 clinic, setup clinic, which we recorded yesterday. Now, normally these things are a little bit... They're okay, aren't they? They're fun. They're all right. But this time, we had Brandon Rose, who was really interesting. We had Lee Martin, who was on great form. And we had JQ, who decided to do a masterclass, including a whiteboard. And I think, really, we've all kind of enjoyed it. And for those of you who are JQ detractors, just because of some social media posts he made 2 or 3 years ago, I think, watch this. I think you might realise, actually, the boy does know something. So let's go to the RC2 setup clinic from yesterday as a bit of lunchtime, lunch break entertainment.
Awesome.
Okay, it's time now for the RC2 setup clinic. We have Brandon Rose, we have JQ, do you want the full name? Jason Quad Green, and we have Lee Martin. Welcome, gentlemen. This is getting worryingly professional, isn't it? I think someone might let this down. Brandon, welcome to the UK. Is this your first time here?
It is my first time.
And so far, obviously, you have traditional British weather where it's beautiful and sunny.
Yeah, it's been very nice weather, coming from like 100 to like 75. It's nice. It's not all what I thought it was going to be. A lot more grass. I don't know. I thought it was going to be like rivers and stuff everywhere.
We'll find you a river, don't worry.
It's not Venice.
Birmingham's got more canals than Venice has. It's just up the road. So, yeah, you get off the plane, you turn up at the track, you have a look at the track, go, oh, that's a bit different. So how do you approach setting your car up for the first time it goes on the track?
I just took almost all the grip out, just from what I thought, and just accept you're probably going to be a little slow the first few rounds, because it's something you've never done before, and just don't go out there and try to drive 100%, drive 60% of your ability, just trying to keep it rubber side down. I probably didn't show that because I was upside down a lot, but yeah, it's kind of my strat.
And you had 3 or 4 runs now, so what have you been changing as you've been going?
Just giving it like less and less flex, trying to make everything stiffer, trying just to take grip out of it, make it as easy to drive, give it less steering, just especially for that 60-minute final on this track, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge because it's so edgy out there. So.
I'll come to Lee next, because Lee, obviously, you're his teammate, but you're running completely different cars. So does that mean there's no advice you can help him with?
I mean, there obviously is advice we can help, because we know the car, we've run on high bite, Astra in the UK and stuff before. So, yeah, he's got Mr. Rumble sat next to him. Probably giving him some good advice, I'm not sure. But, yeah, we'll get Brandon dialed in by the end of the day, and come Sunday, he's going to be right there.
So you also have more time on this track than many others. Well, I hope so. You're in most of the time. How have you found this new? I'm going to call it Asher. I know it's not AstroTurf, but the black AstroTurf. What have you found that's given you on the driving side?
I mean, to answer it, I don't have any more time than anyone, unfortunately. I wish I did, but we literally finished it last weekend. We had an e-buggy national, which we drove, but yeah. Couldn't do any extra running, so I wish I could have took advantage of that. We were just finishing too late, getting everything looking cool for this event. So, but yeah, what was the original question?
How you find the black stuff?
The black stuff. It's different. It's definitely high bite. It's about dialing your car in. Some people are going to get there quicker than others. It's also about tyres. We ourselves don't know the best tyre yet, and I probably don't think anyone does. There's lots of different tyres going round out there. And I think the person that goes and finds the best tyre for them and how they drive is the one that's going to succeed ultimately in the end. It's going to be about having a fast car, but also, as Brandon said, a car that will keep doing laps without throwing itself on its roof. So,
does your experience in 10th on Astra help at all, or is there no correlation?
I think it definitely does help. It's slightly different correlation due to the size, weight, power, and all that stuff. But there is some things we can take from it. Again, it's a trial and error thing. We have advised, guesses, basically. So We'll get there. Some things work the way you think, and some things work completely opposite to the way you think. So, yeah, it does help. But yeah, you know, we've got big brains like this sat next to us working it out as well.
That's a bit tight.
He's only got the hat on, so he hasn't got the hair anymore. So JQ, you are, you know, sort of retired, but you're actually not racing here. You are purely mechanicking for Pecco. So how are you approaching the event?
Well, actually, I came prepared.
Oh, thank you. Thank goodness.
Hold on, I'm going to hold it.
So I'm very happy that I'm retired because I hate Astro. I hate high grip like this. But actually, when I'm in the pits, I don't hate it that much. So driving is my issue. So what I did was I figured out a few sort of general rules that will help all of you guys because you're driving on that thing and I feel your pain. So here we go. Step number 1, RC, not radio control, it's roll center. So the cars have suspension, it's moving around. We have something called a roll center that the car rolls around. We want that low down. So RC, down. How do you do that? Wait, how do I write? Link. Up. The links on your shock towers should be up, front and rear, definitely. What's that going to do? That's going to avoid the car flipping over. Car's going to be inside the track more. Very good tip. Starting point. Everyone here has that. If not, Lee, go change that. You'll be fine. 2, diffs. Key point. Diffs affect the car on and off power. We want really thick diffs. Diffs, up. Thicker. On power, the car will be more stable. It won't diff out. Off power, car will also be more stable. That's what you want. It's a win-win. Thick diffs. So if you don't have thick diffs, 100,000, 200,000, go change that. Damping. Now we're getting into the weeds here, but damping, we want damping to be thick also because we want the car to be calm, stable, not so nervous. So a bit thicker damping than normal. Now my favorite, because I get to draw a graph. Number 4, anti-roll bars. Here's where I see a lot of mistakes happen. So when it gets really high grip, people go to very thick anti-roll bars. And that can cause a slight issue. That issue is called sudden defenestration. You're going around a corner and your car just flips over off the track. That's because the anti-roll bar is so thick. So as the grip goes up, what do we do? Low grip, we have a thin anti-roll bar. Grip goes up, we go to a thicker anti-roll bar. We come to ridiculous grip, which is over here, up here. Now we're at ridiculous grip. What do we do? Thinner anti-roll bar again.
There's very few things a sine curve can't cure, are there really?
A bell curve.
So it's...
only problem is that I did it backwards.
Oh, okay.
So... Sorry.
This will be available on a T-shirt by the end of the weekend, by the way. Yeah, he's got that right now.
So, low grip, extreme grip, right? Low grip, we have thin anti-roll bars. As the grip goes up, thicker anti-roll bars. Ridiculous grip like now, we go back down to thin anti-roll bars. Now it's right.
Okay.
So on this track, we are actually running really thin anti-roll bars, 2.2, 2.4. That's ridiculous. If you have thick ones, try thin ones. That's it. That's all.
So Brandon, how much have you learned from that?
Well, I got thick ones.
There we go.
Maybe that's the problem.
If he goes faster now, invisiblespeed.net.
So it's exclusive now. Brandon has a thick one, JQ has a thin one. Okay, right. So do we have any questions from the floor or from the rest of the grass?
For what reason do we go thinner? Why does it then come back down? What effect does it have to the car, and what's making you then go thinner?
I will give you an answer. But if
It's
you really want to
$14.99.
understand, you need to go to invisiblespeed.net. But the short answer is that it's something to do with initial grip versus overall grip. Initial grip is the initial load transfer of the car, how responsive it is. On a track like this, we don't want that because there's so much traction on the track. We need less initial grip, more overall grip. A thicker anti-roll bar, it stops the car from moving around, but it adds a lot of initial grip. That's the problem. So when we go on a clay track and the traction goes up a bit, we put a thick anti-roll bar to keep the car from moving around too much. And that's fine, because there's not enough grip for that initial grip to cause a problem. Over here, if we keep doing the same thing, that negative aspect of the initial grip being too high is too big to overcome, and that's why we go back down.
And the extra roll that the car is then given is not then a problem with it being high grip?
It is a problem, but we counter that with the hard damping. So when we go to hard damping, the car doesn't have time to roll. The key to everything is time. As you're driving around there, you're driving in a corner, there's a limited amount of time for the car to roll before you straighten out or turn the other way. So we slow down the damping, slow down that movement with thick damping. So we have thin roll bars. The car could roll a lot, but it doesn't have time to because we have thick damping. So that's the difference.
I have a question.
Go on then, yeah.
Okay.
Do you think it makes a difference if the track's smooth or bumpy?
The hardest condition to make a setup is a bumpy high grip track because you want different things.
So for example, like in Temscale, if we run on a bumpy high bike track, I will always have softer suspension, otherwise they're undrivable. So, and then we would do softer suspension and control the roll with the roll bar.
Yeah, that's the problem because it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off, and the bumpier it gets, the harder it gets to get the car really good on high grip and bumps because you want the opposite things from the setup. So you as a driver have to choose if you want to be more comfortable in the bumps and take it a bit easier in corners, or you'll drive it slower through the bumps more carefully and you just don't want it to grip roll and such. So there is no right answer for that. It's a compromise.
Keep going. It's fine, you two.
No, I mean, take more questions. It's good knowledge.
Anyone else got a question about setting the car up? Here we go. Oh, it's Lefty. No, you need the microphone.
I have a question about tires, Lee. Because you're more experienced on the AstroTurf. I know traditionally you guys use those mini spikes and shaved on the front end. Are you doing that here, or are you running the regular tires that everybody else, like maybe the Magnas like the other guys?
So I'm currently using blue Magma, so the same as a control tire. But you're right, I am dremeling the tire. So on the front, I've taken quite an amount off and then dremeled it smooth, so there's no bite at all. And then I've also used glue on the outside to stiffen the wall and also makes it a bit slippy. So when you're turning into the corner, it doesn't grab as much. Makes it much easier to drive, and for all you guys, I would basically advise keep taking a little bit off until you're comfortable, because we all like different amounts of steering. I like quite a lot, and I'm still taking quite a bit of tire off, so keep taking it off, gluing up to it until you're comfortable with the amount of steering you have, and then obviously go small steps because you can't put it back on unless you buy more tires.
So going back to the whole roll bar, roll thing, obviously you've both got different ways of curing the same problem. So Lee's dremeling the tyre and taking the initial out of the tyre. Will that then allow Lee to run a stiffer bar and keep the car a bit flatter and a bit more controlled? Or are we still thinning the bars off and taking it off the tyres? Where's the point where between your two setups, what's...
Well, I mean, we are also doing that to the tires. So we cut the front tires and glued not just the sidewall, even onto the tread on the outside, to numb that initial response out. And two other things I can mention is really low ride height is good. The track is smooth enough, the grip is really high, so we're just running super low, 20 mil. Yeah, front and rear. So that's a good thing. And also droop can go both ways. It's a driver preference. But when you reduce droop too much, everything will happen more quickly. If you flip over, it happens more quickly. If you have a lot of droop, you will feel like the car is rolling too much. So you have to find a balance. On this track here, we reduce droop a bit from normal settings. So basically, when you set up a car, if you have the downloadable documents, invisiblespeed.net, there's one page which is just initial grip versus overall grip. And what you are doing is you are deciding which things you want to add initial grip, which ones you want to add overall grip. And you pick and choose, and that's the difference between different drivers and their preference. So you end up in a similar place, but you achieve it in different ways. That's the difference.
Also, I think, talking about droop, you should really use it to control the way the car gets over the nose when you're on the brakes or gets on the back end when you accelerate. So rather than just thinking about it in the corner, if you're on the brakes and you feel like the car jumps over the nose too much and then it starts to want to grip roll, you can reduce the rear droop to stop that weight transfer as much.
Hello. The control tyre, I used it in practice, but I used it with a different insert glued to my wheel. So it was a lot harder and it didn't roll as much. Now I'm going on to the control tyre, which is a pre-glued Magma. What effect would that have on my car if the insert and the tyre moves more?
I mean, it's, as you say, the car's going to move around a little bit more. The good thing about the 6MIC is that the wheel keys into the insert. So rather than going to a normal foam and wheel that's not glued, it will move around less. Yeah, you're just going to have a bit more bite ultimately, in my opinion. It's gonna jump better, so that'll be good through the dirt sections. It's going to feel more cushioned, but you'll feel like the tyre balloons a bit more when you get on the gas as well. You might like it. It might create more of an overdrive feel, but you just have to be conscious of it.
Is there anything I can do to compensate?
There's nothing you can really do now at this point. As we just said, you Dremel and you glue the outside to cure your grip roll issues, but apart from that, that's it.
Diff oils, shock oils. What's the highest weight you're going to on this track? Each one of them.
Oh, sorry, Brand's had to listen to that. Brand, what are you going on that front?
Like, what am I running?
Yeah.
I'm running like 20, 15, 7. But I feel like...
Anymore.
I feel like I need to go up. Because, yeah. I mean, just going up is going to make it easier to drive, not let it diff out as much. But it could be on top of the track if you go too much. I've felt that before. And then shock hole-wise, just thick enough where it's not like you're super thin. It's just going to do kind of like what they're saying with the sway bars, just lean a lot. It'll do like the little hook-up thing where it hooks up coming out of a corner, and then, but yeah.
I don't know what the upper limit is. Like, we're at 100,000 now. I'm not driving.
Well, JQ's at 100,000.
100,000. Like 100,000 is safe.
So have you gone square? Like 100 front and rear? Or?
No. We had 100, 130 there.
So pretty high. I mean, I haven't gone that high yet. I'm 60,000 up front and could go more for sure. The center, I'm not sure yet. You're going to get more drive, but I don't know if it will just make the car tie itself in knots when you get on the brakes a little bit. But now JQ's running 100, I might try it.
I'm not running.
Thanks, guys. Brilliant stuff. Thank you indeed. Thanks a lot.